There's some funny shit on there though.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. It's a minefield.
Oh, it was like, there's no worse fan base than Star Wars.
Yeah, no, all those types of shows though, like people care about it so much, which is lovely. But
It's lovely that people
get really
care
into it,
but it's a little bit like too much. It's just a fictional show. Just chill.
yeah, I guess. But
Have you seen the recent thing about Star Wars about how everyone's losing their shit now?
what do you mean?
I'll probably misquote it, but it's basically they're making a new Rey movie.
Ray the new character?
Yeah, she was in the sequel,
Yes. Yeah.
the new trilogy, and she was the main Jedi, like the girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was cool. Like I liked her. Like I didn't hate those movies.
I liked the first one. It was good.
Force
It was
Awakens
like
was good.
basically a copy of
It was a New Hope.
yeah, like
But
a
the
remake.
rest of them
But
weren't.
it was still good.
The other two weren't great, but I liked the first one. I did like the first one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Second one was alright.
yeah, I'll go with that. Third one wasn't. Did you?
I don't even remember the third one.
That's,
Like,
that's my point.
yeah,
It's just
I
trash.
definitely saw it, but
It's just trash. Yeah, I saw them all in the cinemas.
yeah.
But they're making a new Rey movie, and they've just appointed the director, and she's this like, she's Pakistani, and she's like this like ultra feminist
Yep.
film director, which
Yep.
is fine, but she's come out with like all these clips of being like, I love to make movies that like make men uncomfortable, and like I don't want them to enjoy it or some shit like this.
Right. That's an interesting
And it's
space
sort of-
to be in a Star Wars trilogy, I guess.
Well, the
but-
thing is, like 2/3 of the Star Wars fan base is male. Like that's like actually.
Do you reckon? Do you reckon
No,
it's not a 50-50 or?
no, I read like I
You reckon?
when I was no, it's not my guess. That's like
Yeah,
what
oh.
it's recorded at. Like apparently,
Okay.
I don't know how they got that stat, but I remember seeing that stat. Like 2/3 of it is male.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it's male predominant. And like it's an interesting marketing choice to just alienate 2/3 of your fan base.
I'd love it. I think it'd be great. Something different. But
Yeah?
I get why people wouldn't like that, but
Well, explain.
I don't know, just be something different. Like all the Star Wars are the same, like carbon copy sort of thing. Like it just shake things up a bit. I'd like that.
I like something that's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
I like that, but I think it's an odd choice to just actively proclaim that. It's basically saying like, oh, I'm not making it for the fans, because if the amount of fans that you're making it for is, say, best case scenario, like being a generous guess, 30%. 30, so like you're saying 70% of the fan base, you're basically giving the finger to.
Yeah, a bunch of men that are here for that kind of stuff as well, though. So
What do you mean?
Like they would want to see that kind of change. I'd be happy to see that kind of thing. Like it would be,
No, I'm okay with a change of pace and a change of, but you know, like for example, like in that whole trilogy, Rey was the main character. She's a female,
Yep.
and she was the hero, and I liked her character, especially in Force Awakens, where I thought it was great. The other movies were just shit, but it wasn't her fault.
Yeah.
They were just shit movies. But you know, obviously, recently Disney have been in such trouble. Not trouble as in like people are yelling at them, but financial trouble because they're having so many flops. Have you seen all this?
Are they?
Have you seen all this? So Disney, across their last 5 movies, have lost over $1 billion.
Really?
Yep. So they haven't had a financial success in like 4 or 5 years, because I think because they're leaning too much into political agenda.
Oh, like political correctness and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
well, you know, whatever you want to, whatever term someone wants to put on it, but they're leaning too much into that, which I like a movie with a message for the world.
It's the point of art, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, well, that's sort of that's an interesting debate, because you're right. Is the point of art not to send a message?
yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're leaning so far into it, they are alienating a large portion of their fan
Middle
base.
America.
Pardon?
Middle America.
The Rust Belt.
yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe, you know, and that's the question.
No, you're probably right.
But then I would say to you, well, there's the question for you. All right, what's the point of a business?
The point of a business.
Yeah.
Well, you think make money, right? Yeah.
Right. So step 1 would be make money. Step 2 is have a message if you really want
I mean,
to.
I guess that's the world we live in, but
Yeah, and then the question is, you're right. Okay, if you want to push these messages and have this in your art and your creation,
yeah.
that's great. But is it worth it at the cost of losing billions of dollars, your stock value tanking?
I mean, when you're a business as big as Disney, you can probably afford that kind of thing, right?
Well, you can for so long.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You can for so long, but if if something doesn't,
They'll change it up. If they lose too much money, they'll change it up. Money's the king. So
yeah,
once they've lost too much, they'll go back to what they used to do.
Yeah, it's been a massive thing because I think with all their live action, how they were doing all their live action remakes.
Oh, like the Lion
of the
King
original,
stuff.
yeah. Well, the Lion King. What else have they done? They did Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaids, like these kind of movies.
Yeah.
And they were sort
I
of
haven't seen any of those.
No, neither.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to see the Lion King and I hated it because I love
really?
I love the original Lion King.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like my childhood. And then I
Yeah.
went to see it and it was not good. It was.
Yeah,
not
I need
good.
to watch that one.
Don't. It's trash.
Okay.
I walked out. First movie I've ever been
walked out?
to the cinema.
Why did you walk out?
Well, I walked out. First one. And only one since.
How come?
Because it's so bad.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know how to describe it. It just looks weird. Because it's live action, but obviously they're not real lions. So it's actually what it is just advanced animation.
Right, okay.
It's still animation. It's just like CGI.
It wasn't beautiful, like the...
Well, no, it was. So some of the shots were beautiful.
Yeah.
But
it
that
just
isn't
didn't, it just didn't work.
That isn't enough to make a good movie.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so like the lions looked weird
Yeah.
because...
And it probably just didn't fit with them talking.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. You've made these characters to look like real lions.
Yeah.
But the real lions don't have facial expression.
Yeah.
So like they would be like having an argument and their faces are just blank.
Yeah, okay,
And
interesting.
and their mouths are moving,
Yeah.
but there's nothing else. And it looks weird.
Yeah, I get you.
And you're just kind of there like, what? Like,
What am I watching?
What is this? It's just shit. So yeah, I got up and left. But it's really come to light recently with Disney with their Snow White. Have you seen any of that?
No.
Well, there's a Snow White movie with a live action movie
Right.
that's coming out relatively soon, and they've been in heaps of trouble over that because they're making some very interesting creative choices.
What are the creative choices?
Well, so the first one that got everyone triggered. Everyone, I'm not voicing my opinion. I'm just relaying what's happening.
Yeah.
But the first one that got people triggered was a set photo came out of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves like walking through a field, and it wasn't Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. It was like Snow White and it was like there was only one actor who was a dwarf. But it was just like seven
Right.
diverse group of people. Like there was like all full grown like well, that sounds terrible. Sorry,
They weren't people with dwarfism. Though.
No, they weren't
Right.
people with dwarfism. They were like I don't know what the term is, but what I'm looking for. But regular height, I suppose, without
Yep.
being sounding
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah, I get you.
But yeah, and then like one Asian lady, one black man, one plus size person, one
Right.
like, and they were just like all these different people.
Isn't that kind of interesting though?
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the title, does it?
And then you're like, okay,
But isn't the point of art and to change things, break the mold, come up with different ways of portraying stuff? I don't know.
But then I think the natural response is, okay, so you probably would have seen like how angry people are getting when a non-gay actor is playing a gay man.
Yes.
Or like, and they're like, well, why don't you get a gay actor?
You see, I don't subscribe to that kind of thing.
No,
I feel like you,
I don't,
as
'cause
an
you're an
actor,
actor.
you should you play the roles. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
But people have been making that claim.
Yeah.
I think it's a stupid claim, but people are making that claim.
Well, there's warrant to it, but I disagree.
Yeah. Oh, you're so much gentler than I am.
Yeah.
But then people are saying, okay, like, why aren't people taking up arms at this? Because it's 7 dwarf roles and you've got 1 dwarf actor.
Yeah.
So
Taking jobs away from actors like
Yeah.
in that circumstance that could get paid for that kind of thing.
Well, they're the most famous dwarf characters
Yeah.
of all time, really. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Everyone knows that.
I mean, I'd have to see the film to sort of see what they do with it, but
Yeah. And then, the actress who's playing Snow White did a whole bunch of press basically just slandering the original film.
right.
And just, she came across as, and whether her points are valid or not, like, I don't know, like some of them I heard, I was like, okay, fair enough. Then others, I was like, I'm not sure about that. But the way she presented when making her points, she came across as extremely ungrateful and extremely, like almost pretentious in a way.
Right, okay.
And I think people were like, well, I don't want to see it then. I don't know. Disney have been in a lot of sort of strife lately. I'm surprised you haven't really been seeing
No,
it.
I know about... I remember the Little Mermaid one and
Yeah,
and
but I
stuff
don't
like
give a
that.
shit about that. People
Yeah.
are like, people are like,
Yeah,
mermaids
shut
are
up.
white. Says who? Says who?
Mermaids aren't real, but cheers. That one pissed me off. Like,
Oh,
that should not matter.
I could not
No.
have cared less
Oh,
about
yeah.
that. People were like genuinely like up in arms
I
about
know,
it.
like
I'm like,
Facebook
bro,
comments, like
I was
just
like,
like
bro, I don't.